What's poppin', y'all? Eminem recently came back. He's been teasing a new album and a new single. He talks about making his career disappear. And the song that he released as the lead single with the music video is called Houdini for the magic trick. The music video, it's really creative. It's super cool. We get the most exciting part of the music video to me was seeing Dr. Dre on there. Because when I was listening to the song, I listened to the song a bunch of times before I saw the video. I actually didn't watch the video until, at least a week after it released. I mean, the song's only been out for a little over a week, maybe 10 days now. And I don't even think Dre was producing on this song. I'm pretty sure it was produced by just Eminem and maybe somebody else. With all that being said, though, I like this song. The song ended up charting at number 2. Eminem got like 100 million streams on Spotify on this song in a week, 7-8 days or so. If I were to check right now, see what it's at 107 million, and it dropped May 31st. So it's been almost 2 weeks for it to get 108 million. But when I checked after about like 9 days, it had 100 million. It went number 2 on the charts. I enjoy the song. I enjoy the music video. We always end up getting mixed. It's been at least a decade plus of us getting mixed comments and reviews on Eminem's music from a lot of people that frankly don't even listen to the new music, and a set of people that are trying to do revisionist history saying Eminem was overrated and trash even back in the day, which I find it to be quite nonsensical. I love this music video because it kind of gave me not only nostalgia, but it made me feel old. I'm looking at Eminem when he was younger, and I know if this made me feel old, I know it made Eminem feel old because he's just reliving all of those memories that he had being a massive superstar, which he still is. But at the younger age, when he was first getting into the game, early 2000s, late 90s, I would say more like his peak was would it be 2000, 2001, or like early 2000s, I would say, even though the first album released before. So I'm going through all that, watching the video. I think the concept is great. With that being said, the quality of the song is there. We've got a solid, catchy hook. I sent this to a couple of people. Yo, you got to check this out because I'm a bit of a skeptic myself. However, I have been very fair with I wouldn't say criticism, with my evaluations on Eminem because I haven't been critical of everything he's dropped. For instance, people say, man, he's just been dropping garbage. Are we going to lie to ourselves and act like, what is the album called? I believe the last one was Music to Be Murdered By. Are we going to act like Music to Be Murdered By wasn't a good album? Are we really going to do that? Because I can't do that. For being honest, that was a solid album. He had a bunch of good songs on there. He had rapping on there. He had the concepts on point. Excuse me, I'm like tripping over my words right now because I'm getting a little bit excited talking about this album, looking back at it. He brought on that new artist, which I feel like every time we get a new artist with Dre or Eminem, we just don't know what happens to them. We had White Gold on this one, which was supposed to be a new artist. He had 2 features on Music to Be Murdered By. We haven't seen much of what he's done since then. The same thing happened. It wasn't on Kamikaze. It was on, who's the other artist? No, he was signed to Shady. I'm forgetting his name right now. He had an Eminem feature and he was signed to Shady. I'm not talking about the Filipino artist that he signed within the past 2 years. But we can agree, Revival, I thought that was garbage. Oh man, that was not a good one. Marshall Mathers LP2, this was over 10 years ago. I thought that was okay, but Revival was trash. Kamikaze, I think people were just critical of it. I wouldn't say overall as an album it was great, but I think it did what Eminem aimed to do, which was he was really still tapped into what was going on culturally within hip-hop. He took shots and aimed at nearly any and everybody that criticized Revival, and he took good feedback. He came back. A lot of people returned. Even Joe Budden, I think, they were giving him his props and respect on Kamikaze, saying, yo, this guy actually killed this. A lot of this tracks on there. Some people were kind of hating on him doing the song with Joyner Lucas, but that song's at almost 1 billion streams, or like 700 million last I checked, which close enough to 1 billion. It's going to hit it eventually. Music to Be Murdered By, I would say, was over Kamikaze. He had the song Godzilla with Juice WRLD, easily the biggest song on there. So I'm really interested to see what Eminem comes up with next. It seems to be maybe a little bit of a hybrid. Just if we take some clues from the music video, it seems to be a mix of his old self and his new self. Maybe it's like them fighting against each other. I don't know if the old Eminem's going to try to like come out. The thing is, we've consistently seen or heard Eminem, and while he has sounded a bit different in the subject material, his identity has remained the same as a rapper in terms of sound. Like, for example, Ye's identity has changed. And I like to use Ye because he's the best example of this. He changes so much. Lil Wayne's identity changed. Hot Boys Lil Wayne to Carter Lil Wayne to Rebirth, for example. Those are drastic changes. Even I would say, I'm not a human being, not too much. But those were 3 changes that Wayne made. And I think Eminem dropped Houdini at the perfect time because it made me a lot more appreciative when we had this Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef going and reference tracks leaking for any and everybody throughout the game. It made me think, man, were we not hating, but were we holding people like Eminem to a standard that was impossible for one man to be able to satisfy or to live up to? And I don't mean one man as in, just Eminem himself. I mean one man to have such a vast array of talent by themselves with a diverse range of music and sound without any help from reference tracks. Yet that's the criticism that we use for people like Eminem. And I'm most likely going to save the entire argument about this for another time. Probably on, I don't know when I'll do it, but it's something I think we should explore more. And this is one of the issues that I have with reference tracks, but it made me happy to hear and more appreciative because I'm going into it with the lens of, man, this guy Eminem, not only has he been rapping since he was a kid, this guy's still rapping. That's one of the things that I admire most about people like Lil Wayne, people like Eminem. They're still doing the same thing 30, 40 years later, and they still love it. To the degree that Lil Wayne does it is insane. Because I wouldn't say I get bored of things, but these guys, not only did they get to the top 1% of their field, they became the best at their field. So you're known as the best globally at what you do, and you just keep doing it. And the way I am, I'm kind of not like that. I'm like, okay, if I conquered something, time to conquer the next thing. Okay, conquered this thing, time to conquer the next thing. It's like I'm collecting these different stones of skills or accomplishments or whatever you want to call them. And then I put that together into, not my identity, but in my little satchel of, like gold doubloons that are each an accumulated skill or a high level of each skill. Granted, that may never take me to being the number one undisputed best at something, but we're all different in that way. So like I said, overall, I enjoyed this song. The beat is good. The hook is good. I like how Eminem is staging this rollout. One of the things I love most is rollouts. You guys know I would say not kind of. I really, really enjoy talking about rollouts, the way people market themselves, the way people are able to garner attention, especially when it's real attention. I would say that Eminem's Houdini, some people say, oh, who's even listening to this? I've seen comments like that. Eminem is a legacy act. People are going to listen to Eminem and not tell you that, oh, I just listened to the new Eminem, like they're doing with new artists. And they may not even need to comment on it. This guy's been accumulating fans for 25 years. There's some guy, 45 years old, that's going to Procter & Gamble that's been listening to Eminem since he was in college at his frat parties. And he's just like, oh, new Eminem song just popped up on my Spotify. I'm going to click that and play it while I'm on the way to work, on my lunch break, but when I'm chilling. And he's not going on Twitter and saying, yo, that Eminem is fire. So the fact that people are like, man, I don't hear nobody talking about this. Yeah, you don't hear anybody talking about this, and they don't need to be talking about it. They're going to listen to it, and there's nothing to be surprised about that. Although, the comment that he made about Megan Thee Stallion and the Tory Lanez thing, that is somewhat primetime Eminem, when he would just take shots at any and every celebrity, which is why I like the contrast on Kamikaze, because he wasn't just taking shots at celebrities that, sure, you could say like are bigger than him when he was much less famous back in the day, or let's just say peers, celebrity peers, because they're all on his level. Yet in Kamikaze, he took aim at criticism from people that they would deem below him, right? Like critics, magazine people, interviewers, podcasters, whereas he would normally come at other celebrities. And he did it with Megan Thee Stallion. And Revival Eminem, I don't know if Revival Eminem would have done this. Maybe he would have been like, oh, you know, she had to go through this traumatic experience. I don't want to make a joke about this. But Eminem here decided to make a joke out of it. Obviously, he doesn't mean it personally in any type of way. But I like that. I like that he threw that in there. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you for watching. Peace.